What's going on, everybody? This is Clark Beckham, and we are continuing with our top 50 countdown of albums of all time, according to me, my musical experience. And it is Michael Jackson, Off the Wall, with number 25. Legendary album. Two of my favorite songs, maybe favorite Michael Jackson songs ever, are on this album. Don't Stop Till You Get Enough and Rock With You, track number 1, and then track number 2. This album was brought to my attention, I'm embarrassed to say, recently by Travis Cottrell, who's a friend, and he said that this is a no-skip album for him. And it is very, very close to no-skip album for me. There's a song on here that is a skip, only one song, and it's She's Out of My Life. It was a single from the album, and I don't get it at all. But the rest of the stuff is super groovy. You will bob your head to every single song except She's Out of My Life, which is this random emotional piano ballad thing that doesn't have much structure and it's just weird. I don't really connect with it. Rock With You, super groovy, maybe my favorite Michael Jackson song ever. But the chords are gorgeous and the melody is gorgeous. And if you know me, I will find the songs that have beautiful chords and melodies that might not be super relied upon in the recording. Maybe like this recording relies on the groove and the beat and like get up and dance. But it's like, man, if you just play these chords and sing them. Girl, close your eyes, let the rhythm get into you. Don't try to fight it, there ain't nothing that you can do. Relax your mind, lay back and groove with mine. You gotta feel that beat, and we can ride a boogie, share that beat of love. I wanna rock with you all night, dance you into the daylight. I wanna rock with you all night. We're gonna rock the night away, out on the floor. Right back into the verse. Oh my gosh, that is so good. Number 24 is Jon Bellion, Glory Sound Prep. This is Jon Bellion's latest album. John is a friend of mine. I was a fan first. I found his music right before I went on American Idol, and it was a soundtrack of my moments of peace, my moments of clarity. And then this is his latest album. John is unique because he, like so many of these albums that kind of change music, he morphs so many different genres into themselves in a way that is not common or maybe has never been done before. He takes pop sounds with Jay Dilla beat style, with hip hop rap influence. And he's a great rapper, he's a great singer, and he's a brilliant songwriter who pretty much writes in his own mold. There's never been anything like his songwriting, in my opinion, and he's fearless. He has no problem coloring outside of the lines. And sometimes people do that. It's weird and they have a cult following. Sometimes when people do that, it's the Beatles, it's Stevie Wonder, it's John Mayer, it's Jon Bellion. JT is one of my favorite songs on the album. It is the most Jon Bellion-y song as far as the production goes and the sound and what he's talking about. Like, it's just, if you love Jon Bellion, you will love this song. And if you want to know what he sounds like, this is a great song to listen to get his vibe. There's another song that's one of my favorites that unfortunately is not, it's one of the least streamed songs on the album. It's called Let's Begin. And I don't know. I haven't talked to him about it. I haven't asked him, but it felt like when I first heard this song that this was supposed to be, and it was going to be, the intro to the album, because he has intros to albums often, and it's really dope. I thought this was going to be the intro to the album. And then he had a feature come on it, Rock Marciano, who's a legend, a hero to many. And this is a hot take, and I won't spend much time on this, don't worry. But this verse that he rapped, that he did, is maybe the worst verse I've ever heard in my life done by a professional. It's so bad that I think they moved it so it wouldn't be the intro, and otherwise it'd be so good. So listen, here's how he starts. This guy says, "You already know how we came up. I'm saying it was a real pain in the butt." And then in the background, he goes, "Ow." What? That's your line? That's your silver tongue piece of poetry? You already know how we came up. I'm saying it was a real pain in the butt. Ow. And then another one that drives me up. The whole verse is yikes. And then it says, "They saying me and John Bellion, we some aliens, and do-rags had us looking like Saudi Arabians." Okay, when has anyone ever seen John Bellion in a do-rag? I've never seen John Bellion in a do-rag, and it's lazy rhyming. They saying me and John Bellion's, we some aliens, do-rags had us looking like Saudi Arabia. It's like, that's just bad. And then John comes in and crushes. And then Black Keys, known as B Keys now, comes in and crushes. Brilliant verse. Great rhythm, great rhymes, incredible concepts. The production's crazy. And then there's a beautiful chorus at the end that Trav sings. And I think the song is pretty much ruined because of the first 50 seconds. So listen to the song. It's dope, but start at 50 seconds. And he has another song, probably the most popular song on the album, is Stupid Deep. Now this, in content speaking, is super John Bellion. John, from the very beginning, has always been very existential. He's been, why are we here? What's the purpose of life? Very philosophical. And he found God in a new way, a strong, powerful way, before he wrote this album. And I think around late 20 teens, 2016, 17, something like that, really found God in a powerful way. And all of a sudden, the focus of the Why Am I Here songs, the content, the conversation around that question started to shift a little bit to where it sounded like, okay, I think he knows a little bit more why he's here. There's still struggles, but it sounds a little more pointed toward God. And I think this song sounds like, I haven't asked him, I haven't talked to him about it, but it sounds like that's what he's singing about here, is his revelation that God is the answer. And he says it in this song. What if who I hope to be was always me? And the love I fought to feel was always free? What if all the things I've done were just attempts of earning love? 'Cause the hole inside my heart is stupid deep. It's stupid deep. Oh my gosh, the depth of that. What if who I hope to be was always me? The love I fought to feel was always there for me. It was always free to be. It was always there to be had. What if all the things I've done, just attempts of earning love, that I found out was free? Because the hole inside my heart is stupid deep. Stupid deep. And then later he gets like passionate into it and he starts crying the same chorus and he goes, what if who I hope to be was always me? And the love I fought to feel was always free? What if all the things I've done were just attempts of running love? 'Cause 'cause the hole inside my heart is stupid deep. It's stupid deep. Put so much cry into that. You should listen to it. He sings it better than me. Last song I'll mention, Cautionary Tales. This one is slept on. This is such a sick song. It's a story song. The verses, he's rapping, and the chorus is this kind of like altered voice of his that's like so, it's such like an anthemic, fun vibe, and the production's sick, everything's sick. People sleep on this song. It's the second to last song, and don't miss this one. Number 23 is D'Angelo, Voodoo. D'Angelo, like I said in the last video, is kind of seen as the savior of R&B, the Messiah. Black Messiah is actually one of his album titles. And this stuff is as good as it gets in this world. Again, I don't know anyone who does this stuff. I've heard some songs after this that sound like and are trying to do the D'Angelo thing, but this absolutely started an R&B revolution. Send It On is the first song that like hit me and was like, oh, this is new. This is something that I've never heard before, that I don't think anyone's ever done before. That's another one, kind of like JT with Jon Bellion. If you want to get the sense of what D'Angelo is, listen to Send It On. First 30 seconds, if you don't like it, then you can pass. If you like it, then you're going to like everything he does. This is a no-skip album for me. Spanish Joint is so fun to listen to. Pino Palladino's on the bass. Pino Palladino is one of the best bass players of all time. And he's also John Mayer's bass player in the John Mayer Trio. But he plays the crap out of this song. And it feels really good. A lot of high musicality here. And then my favorite song, and maybe the song he's most known for, is called Untitled. And in the parentheses, How Does It Feel? Which, why would you call it Untitled and then in parentheses put a title? Because that's a title. So don't call it Untitled when you title it. It's like, I don't have a name, but I'm Clark. Like, what? So that's the song. And it starts off really soft and groovy. And then it gets hype at the end. It has this like stab of this chord right here. Girl, it's only you. Have it your way. And if you want, you can decide that if you'll have me, I can provide everything that you desire. So how does it feel? How does it feel? Hey, how does it feel? Oh, baby, how does it feel? Oh, and it just lays there, and you can just vibe on that forever. And he pretty much does. Number 22 is Jon Bellion again. Jon Bellion again. And I knew when I was doing the Kanye West stuff, I just added all of his albums together because they're just so close together. I just have to put this one on here. It's so different. It's one of his early albums. This is the first album I listened to that made me fall in love with Jon Bellion, and it is The Separation. This is how I discovered him. And when I was on American Idol, there's a song on here that I listened to every single day. They would give us little cards, like gift cards to different restaurants. That was our per diem, basically. And then I would go to IHOP across the street from the hotel we were at, and I would sit. This is before I knew what was so terrible for me as far as food goes. I would sit and I would get pancakes and sausage and eggs and a bunch of syrup. And I would, didn't drink coffee yet, so just that. And I would sit and I would listen to this song pretty much every single day 2 or 3 times, especially during that moment, and it would center me. The song's called Eyes to the Sky. And when I met John for the first time, I was at a concert, his concert, and I was backstage. We met, and I told him this story about Eyes to the Sky. And he goes, all right, we're going to do that tonight. And he added it in his set just for me, which was so cool. It was so nice. It wasn't in the set. And then he's like, all right, after hearing that story, we're going to do that tonight. So this is a song, and this is how well like it speaks to like what I'm talking about, like what would help me in that moment of anxiety. And he sings, anxiety dances across my pillowcase, my God, it dances. It's like 1-2 step, it's asking stupid questions. Like, are you living right? Such stupid questions. 'Cause I'm just trying to live, I'm trying to rise above the things the devil tries, which is why I keep my eyes to the sky. Is that not the perfect little mantra for starting a stressful day where you're nervous and your life is changing rapidly? So that was there for me. He was there for me in that moment, secondhand, by writing that song. Jim Morrison is another one that's really dope. That is centered around this really cool line. And notice how lazy it gets on the way down, on the second half of the line. It's not... It's almost like a drunken descent. And that's a very Jay Dilla thing. It's very hip hop thing. It's very like back, way back in the pocket. That production's crazy. That's a great one. Two Rocking Chairs is a very sweet love song. Someone actually asked me to do this for their wedding, which was cool. It's basically this guy is saying to this girl, hey, I made 2 rocking chairs. My name's on one, and then I engraved your name on the second one, and they're for us because I'm going to love you forever, and we're going to be sitting on our rocking chairs when we're 80, and that's our life together. And so that's what that song's about. Very sweet love song. And then Ungrateful Eyes is another very existential, philosophical, why are we here song. It talks about pursuing the things of status and money and then it not fulfilling anything at all. It goes, it's kind of clever how he does it. I made $100,000 this year. Clap, 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 so what? Still lost, still feeling anxious, still worried about the same things. I made $100,000 this year. Clap, 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 so what? Still lost, still feel depressed, like I'm trying to find a way in. I'm trying to figure this out, but my God, I'm so human. So I turned to my sister and smiled and asked this question. All we want to know is where the stars came from, but do we ever stop to watch them shine? What a message. What a melody. That's John. Last song I'll mention on this album, Kingdom Come. This beat is crazy. Production is nuts. There's some brilliant lyrics in here. There are brilliant lyrics in everything that he does. But one of my favorite lines from Kingdom Come is, I heard melodies from angels, so I played them on the one. Now my hero's asking me where I'm from. So I've talked to John before about this, and he's, not this line particularly, but writing music. And I was like, how many songs have you written that you just heard in your head that you didn't even come up with, but they just come? And the point I was making is almost everything that we come up with, we hear, but where do we hear it from? It's kind of making a case for a creator of creativity that gives it to us. In my case, as a Christian, God. And John said, all of them. Every melody I've ever written, I didn't come up with. I just hear them in my head. And so that's what he's referring to. He said, I heard melodies from angels, so I played them on the one. And the one is the key that you're in. So it's the, in this case, that chord. So I play the one where you would start, the most simple chord ever, and then I sing those melodies on the one. And then he goes, and now my heroes are asking me where I'm from. That's like the most popular small talk icebreaker is, hey man, where are you from? That's like the first time someone's going to be actually interested in wanting to know something about you. That's usually what they ask. So I related to that too. And I just love that line. Number 21, this is our last album of the 5 for this video, is Lizzie McAlpine, 5 Seconds Flat. So many people would say that if you want to make a good album, if you want to make good songs, if you want to make a career, your songs have to hit the chorus in the first minute, has to be energetic. People have very short attention spans. You got to hit them quick, and it got to be upbeat, and it's got to feel like awesome, and roll the windows down and blast it. And then Lizzie McAlpine was like, okay, that's fine. You guys can do that. I'm just going to write songs with brilliant lyrics that mean something. I'm going to put my mouth right up on the mic and sing with such intimacy, and I want to say like an adjective for, or a noun for personal. It's so personal. It's so close. It's like she's right there next to you. And it's very simple production. Actually, half of it is simple production. The other half is brilliant, crazy production that I'll mention in a second. And she just writes things that people really relate to, and she's exploded, and earns her way into many people's top albums of all time with this one. And almost everything she does could be in here. Doomsday is nasty. Pull the plug, make it painless. I don't want a violent end. It's about a breakup. She knows he's going to break up with her, and she's like, just freaking do it, dude. Just do it. But talks about it like it's doomsday, like it's an execution. Like, you're planning my funeral. You'll probably invite my family for this, you psycho. And it's sick. I did a cover of this on Instagram, which, if you want to hear it, I'll link it in the description. Erase Me was a collaboration with Jacob Collier. And this is one of my favorite produced songs I've ever heard that I can possibly think of. It is so dope. Her vocals are great. Reckless Driving is a brilliant song. It's a duet, and they're singing, "You're a reckless driver. I'm afraid to be in a relationship with you because of the way you drive relationships. And we fall so head over heels in love with each other, and then we're just going to crash." But there are like all these car analogies of driving. And then at the very end, she's like, I'm afraid. And he's like, don't be afraid. I'm fine. Like, I can drive this thing. He's like, but what if this kills us? And then it's like, right at the end, it simulates like a moment where they wrecked. It's really cool. And then Ceilings is probably her most famous, most popular song. It's the most streamed song by a lot on this album. And it's beautiful. And it's also a really cool concept. It starts off of this beautiful love story. And then at the end, she reveals that the story that she's been telling isn't real and it doesn't exist. And she's just alone in her car imagining these things. And that's revealed like at the last bit. And it's really cool. I'll show you. So it goes. Ceilings, plaster, can't you just make it move faster? Lovely to be sitting here with you. It's kinda cute, but it's so short. Then you're driving me home, and I don't wanna leave, but I have to go. You kiss me in your car, and it feels like the start of a movie I've seen before. And then when it comes around to the chorus the second time, it doubles and it goes, but it's not real, and you don't exist. And I can't recall the last time I was kissed. It hits me in the car, and it feels like the end of a movie I've seen before. Really cool stuff. Next week, the next 5 is... Now we're getting into every album. I'm like, this is my favorite album ever. How could this be only 20? This should be number 1 or 2. This album at number 20 makes me feel that way. It is a John Mayer album. I just usually don't tell you that, but I will. The next one is one that was as a huge pop star, and I think it's slept on. I think it's the best album he's ever put out. I think it's the best pop album in the last like 10 years in general. I say that I probably have another pop album up here. No, I don't. This is, best pop album in the last 10 years. And then we have another classic album, classic artist who is probably the most influential to me, piano speaking and chords, when I was really in my formative piano years. And then we have another John Mayer album. We got 2 John Mayer albums up here. And then we have another pop superstar who changed the game with this album. Absolutely changed the game. And the producer should receive just as much credit as Justin did for this, and often does. This is kind of like a producer's Bible, this album. Like if you are a pop producer and you don't know this album and you haven't studied it, then you're not for real. Those are next. So tune in next week, and I'll see you there.